Hello guys, welcome to the channel. My name is AJ, and in today's video we are coming back to our Journeyman career. If you've seen the last part, you probably know that in the last video I joined Indonesian club named Persik, and that was my first job as a football manager. And despite the fact that our club was under transfer embargo, we still managed to finish the first half of the season on a good note. We got to the quarterfinal of the cup, and also we got the second place in the league. The results were good so far, but as I find out, the transfer embargo gonna stay with us till the February, when the transfer window in Indonesia closes after the January. So that means the second part of the season will also go without any transfers.
No way! I don't think so, pal. That's not how this works.
Will we be able to handle this, and will we win anything this season? Let's find out. There were some cosmetic changes in the middle of the season. First, I signed 2 scouts, since we had nobody in that department, and we also had to start preparing for the next transfer window. Rodrigo decided to reject all transfer offers for him, which means he will leave the club as a free agent. However, since we won't be making any transfers for the next 6 months, it makes sense to keep him here just in case. Our first match against Bali United went according to plan, and thanks to the excellent technical ability of our attacking group, we secured a comfortable victory. Valian, Jose Enrique and Luna were once again the key men, leading us to the 5-1 win. However, the next match against the leader of the league, Persik, was completely different. Sometimes there are matches when everything crumbles and despite your best efforts you cannot change a thing. Persik managed to convert all their chances into the W's, while we could not catch up to them. Our more attacking style helped, but their perfect performance left no chances for us. 5-3, and I seriously started to worry about our fullbacks, since none of them were up to par to the level we are looking for. But hey, it will be another excuse for me at the end of the season. By the way, our new signed scout Antonio Matache decided to retire a couple of days after signing with our club. I guess the level of depression at the club is at an all-time high, and it makes sense since our match with Madura United also was quite horrendous. We paid our price for the high defensive line and lost 2-1 after another questionable defensive performance. The start was not very good, but luckily the match against relegation candidates Malut United came at the right time. Thanks to a great performance from Leo and Adi stepping up when we needed him, we secured a comfortable and well-deserved victory. Also, our scouts managed to find Arkan Kaka, a youngster that we will loan for the next season, but we are going to talk about him more in the next video. Through today's episode, I will announce a couple of transfers we already agreed on, so stay tuned. The match against Borneo United proved that we should stick to our attacking formation and that a higher pressing line can overwhelm most teams in this league. It was a comfortable 5-2 victory with Valian and Enrique putting in brilliant performances. Mila also stepped up in a big way and proved to be a very useful option off the bench for the rest of the season. When it came to the quarterfinal against Malut United, we finally faced our first serious opposition in the cup this year. However, the first match went relatively smoothly for us. Valiant scored one of the best goals of the season after an incredible team move. He was a true leader of this team, and thanks to him we remained in control of the tie. The victory sent us into the semi-final where we will face non-league Garuda Yakasa. It feels like we are still playing on easy mode as we continue to avoid a matchup against Deva United, who also reached the semi-finals. The same cannot be said about the league. Persik held a comfortable 10-point lead over us, making the title race extremely difficult. Because of that, my objective remained the same: either win the cup or secure second place in the league. Both outcomes will allow us to qualify for the Asian Champions League next season. The atmosphere around the club and the squad's cohesion continued to improve, and I knew we were on the verge of a breakthrough. Since cohesion is one of the most important factors affecting how our playing style works, my team was finally starting to click. Our match against Arema was nerve-wracking. We were lucky to stay in the game on several occasions thanks to Leo's outstanding performance, and as usual our fullbacks were exposed throughout the match, but we managed to survive. Then, right at the end of the game, John Torrao scored the winner and secured an unexpected victory for us. It was a very important goal for him, as many of the matches he had featured in had ended unsuccessfully for us, and I already started doubting giving him playing time instead of Adi. The transfer embargo that had been so frustrating throughout the year was finally lifted, and I could start looking for quality additions to the squad. I'm not going to spoil all of the transfers we had lined up for the future, but we had already begun planning for the next season and identified 2 players I was particularly eager to sign. Those players were Brazilians Everton Porto and Mateus Rocha. Both were available to sign on free transfers for the following season, and I was quick to capitalize on the opportunity. Semen Padon beat us in a match where we were supposed to win and where we dominated the entire game, so I knew that we should not give up. There always will be matches like this, but as long as it's not constant and our XG is high enough, I'll keep my trust in this system. Our semi-final against Garuda Yaksa was an interesting one. We controlled the game for the most of the match, and goals from Luna and Adi only underlined our dominance. However, our underdog opponents fought valiantly and refused to go down without a fight. They managed to pull one back and make things a bit more difficult for us, but in the end we secured a convincing 4-1 victory and strengthened our chances of lifting the trophy. Still, this was not an easy team to beat, and that was clear to see. Another match with Malut United nearly broke me. After dominating the game and controlling the tempo for almost the entire match, we once again conceded from a quick counter-attack down our flank and threw away our lead. It was probably the most frustrating match of the season and the moment I completely lost faith in my win-backs. However, I had no other choice but to keep moving forward with them, hoping they would perform better next time. Despite all the setbacks, I had no intention of abandoning my attacking philosophy. Our second leg against Garuda Yaksa was memorable for a different reason. During the match, I noticed an interesting player on the opposition side. Eka Putra was a young, talented guy with a great pace and surprisingly strong physical attributes. He was tall, quick, and capable of playing on either flank of the attack. I'm not gonna lie, I was impressed. Despite securing the draw, I immediately tried to sign him after the match. I was in need of versatile and talented local players, and Eka Putra seemed to fit that profile perfectly. Yeah, I know guys, signing player based on 3D matches is not the best idea since I didn't know much about the guy, but this is a type of video like this match of Kevin De Bruyne sold it to Manchester City or something like this. The match against PSM went well, and thanks to the strong performances from Leo and Torao, we managed to get a W. As usual, their wingers made fun of our win-backs. What mattered most was that our key players stepped up when needed and continued to deliver positive results for the team. In the league table, we were 10 points behind Persik, which made me believe that our main objective should be holding on to the second place and fending off the challenge from Deva United. And honestly, I was perfectly fine with that considering it was our first season. Team cohesion also reached its peak, so I expected my players to deliver their best performances in the final stretch of the campaign. Meanwhile, Mateus Rocha had already joined the club and was expected to help put an end to my suffering next season. At least that was a plan. We would see whether things actually worked out that way. The match against Psim was an intense affair, but we managed to come away with all 3 points. Our defensive midfield duo, Castanera and Garcia, played a crucial role, providing us the stability we needed throughout the game. The story was much the same against PSM, where we secured a narrow 1-0 victory thanks to the goal from Valian. There is not much else to say about either match, except that we had started winning these tight contests on a consistent basis. Even when chances were limited, we found ways to get the job done, and that was a very encouraging sign. Phayangara had no intention of making things easy for us, and our young goalkeeper Al Malik was forced into plenty of action to keep us in the game. He rarely received much recognition, but he proved to be a very reliable backup goalkeeper throughout the season. Despite my reluctance to trust him in the biggest matches, mainly because Leo was performing so well, Al Malik always did his job when called upon and played an important role in keeping our results on track. Now the moment of truth awaited us as we faced Persik in a league match. The win in this match could keep us in the championship race, and we passed this test with flying colors. Leo performed just fine, and our attacking players capitalized on most of the chances we've got. It was an equal rivalry, but at the end of the day, our attacking system guaranteed us important victory over the leaders of the table. Our next match against Persik proved to be a very challenging one. Their goalkeeper Kado put in an outstanding performance and seemed determined to stop everything we threw at him. Time and time again he came up with crucial saves, and it seemed like we were going to drop valuable points. However, this match once again proved the value of persistence. If you keep attacking, keep creating chances, and refuse to abandon your philosophy, the rewards will eventually come. What made the result even sweeter was what happened elsewhere. By that point, Persik had completely squandered their lead at the top of the table. After 30 rounds, we found ourselves level on points with them. Considering that we had once trailed by 10 points, the situation felt absolutely unbelievable.
Oh, my point! No! Oh, fuck! I buffed it! I fucking buffed it, dude! I shitted it! No! I'm supposed to be the smarty!
And finally, we had reached the final we had all been waiting for. Deva United awaited us in the first leg, and the stakes could hardly have been higher. This was a massive game for us because winning the cup would secure a place in the Asian Champions League, bringing both valuable finances and opportunity to take the club to another level. The match itself was evenly contested, with both teams creating good chances. Unfortunately for us, Deva United were awarded a penalty somewhat out of nowhere, and Wikri converted it to put them ahead. Fortunately, Adi had other ideas. The 16-year-old wonder kid produced a brilliant solo run and goal to bring us level and keep us firmly in the tie. Both sides had opportunities to find a winner, but neither could land the decisive blow. When the final whistle blew, everything was still to play for. The first leg had settled nothing, and the fate of the trophy would now be decided in the return match away from home. The battle was far from over. Seeing these beautiful results, Persik approached me with a new 1-year contract with no financial raise. But that's fine, this is not about the money, and I'm happy to keep working and bring results to the club that put some trust in me. The match against Deva in the league was not easy at all. Both of our teams were close to scoring, but then Adyatama decided to make it more fun for me and got sent off for an absolutely unnecessary and dumb tackle in the middle of the field. At this moment, I knew that my goose was cooked. We hold on tight, and luckily FM is not the same as real life, so a red card to the player does not mean that you are out of the game completely, for better or for worse. And at the very end of the match, John Tarao decided to become a true club legend and scored an insane goal that helped us to win. We were lucky, but statistics proved that Deva did not play well enough to beat us. It was an insane victory, but I did not pay much attention to it, since we have work to do. There was a final match for the cup ahead of us, so I did not even check the tournament table. All my eyes were on the Indonesian Cup, since it was our ticket to the international competitions. The start of the match was harsh, and Leo saved a bunch of great strikes from Deva United. Stevens also performed really well. It was a game of chess between two big clubs. And once again, at the very end of the match, after a great pass from Mila, John Tarao was the first to get to the ball and scored the deciding goal for us. 3 minutes later, he did the same and guaranteed us the victory in the cup this year. Honestly, that was insane. I never could predict that I would be able to win a cup in my first year of work in the club. Yes, we got lucky a bunch of times, mostly because we never faced a decent competition up until the very final, and because we capitalized on the chances we've got, but nevertheless, I'm very proud of my team and the things that we achieved. We got $70,000 for the win and respect from the board of directors. However, there was also some bad news. John Tarao refused to renew his contract, which meant he would not be part of the team next season. The timing could hardly have been worse, as he had finally found his groove and started performing at the level we had always hoped for. To make matters worse, Chechu suffered a serious injury that would keep him out for the next 2 months. With his loan deal nearing its end and no chance for him contributing for the remainder of the campaign, There was little reason to keep him at the club, so his loan was terminated early. Despite his flaws, Chechu had been our second best defender for much of the season. His departure left us with limited options at the back, and for the rest of the campaign we would have to rely on the players who remained available to us. One of the last matches of the season was against Persik, and it could have gone either way. Kika got an early own goal at the beginning of the match, but once again our attacking players and system worked for us. First, Castañera scored a brilliant goal, and then Valian helped us to get the lead. At the end of the day, we got the victory that brought us closer to winning match. We fielded our strongest lineup for the match against Persik Bandung, knowing just how important occasion was. A victory would allow us to extend our lead at the top of the table and move one step closer to securing the league title. Persik, however, had no intention of making things easy for us. They struck first through a brilliant solo effort from Ulian Barros, silencing the celebration before they could even begin. Fortunately, our beloved wonderkid Adi once again stepped up and brought us back into the game. The match remained tense throughout and could have gone either way. Then, according to an old tradition, John Tarau delivered when it mattered the most, scoring late to put us 2-1 ahead. The drama was far from over. Leo saved a penalty in the closing stages, only for Dion Marks to find an equalizer shortly afterward. Yet, in the end, none of that matters. The draw was enough to mathematically secure us the title, and with that result, we were crowned champions of Indonesia for the very first time. Another insane comeback, which I honestly missed since I was so concentrated on the cup, and I didn't notice how Persik squandered everything and let us get our second title this season. 2 titles under transfer embargo in the first year. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I did not see that coming, and according to the challenge rules, there are not so many things left for me to do here. So it would make more sense to me to lose something this year, so there will be some sort of motivation left for the next season. But I can tell you, I'm not planning to leave Indonesia in the next 2 years at least. I still want to improve my managerial style, tactic, and probably go to the courses, if the board of directors gonna allow me to do so. I think it's a common mistake in the journeyman career when you leave in your initial club right away after the first success, thinking that someone would care about your Indonesian success story, but in reality your skills and reputation is still quite low, so I don't want to risk it, and I'm gonna stay with this club until I'm gonna be comfortable that I can move on to the next challenge. I think thanks to the hype, this kind of approach might work in real life, but in this game universe, it means nothing. So there is a lot of work to be done. Also, we're gonna have an Asian Champions League next season, which is gonna be a great opportunity for me to prove myself. Yeah, I know that technically it's not a Champions League and more like a Europa League for the Asian clubs, but still it's gonna be the next step for our club, and it's gonna help us to grow and get even better. Also, the club needs to be strengthened. I'm gonna look for the new transfers. Highly paid players like Luna probably will be gone, and it's gonna be a great opportunity for me to bring some new players, and I can't wait to show you guys what I'm about to cook. Thank you so much guys for sticking by and waiting for the new videos. I really appreciate it. It's not very easy and it's time consuming to create the videos based on the entire season, not like one match. And yeah, I think I'm gonna do my best to publish regularly. So thank you so much for patience, for waiting. I will try not to let you down, and I hope we're gonna see each other pretty soon with a new episode of The Journeyman. So thank you so much and take care. Goodbye.